What's your problem? I said, what's your problem?
How are you today, sir?
Okay, how's it going?
Fine, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to this fine, and I'm not irradiated evening because I think I fixed the problem with the monitor, where it's not burning my fucking my skin off too early in the video. Maybe it was that was a long intro, so it was past 15 seconds. YouTube, yes. Without further ado, my partner in crime. I'm not going to say anything else because
it's starting to get too much what you're saying when you introduce me, to the point where I'm
you feel uncomfortable. You're not going to stay in the same room as me in America.
Are we staying in the same room? We've got separate rooms.
I don't know. Dave said something about a sleeping bag. Just one of them.
Did he? He hasn't said that to me.
You might want to just message him after the show.
I don't. I'll be fine. I'm rugged. I'm comfortable in the if need be.
We get top to toe in a sleeping bag. One of us will suffocate. But how you doing, mate?
I'm all right. I've never understood the top to toe thing.
No. Just if you're gonna do it, just
because I don't really want to sleep next to somebody's feet, and like the cockpits are still in the same place.
Yeah,
there's still risk of like cock to cock or cock to bum or bum to bum. It's
probably more. You don't want hair in your face, you know, or the breath.
That's true.
It's probably what it's
wants
about.
To breathe another man's breath.
Who wants to wake up with a foot in the mouth?
Exactly. Oh,
it's just odd.
Fergie wasn't Fergie into toe sucking?
Quite possibly, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm sure there was something that the press put out on that. But speaking of foot in mouth, we'll get on with the show before we get into trouble.
Why not?
I just want to thank the brand new Patreon member. I nearly said his name. I'm not going to do that. Docsmaster, thank you so much, my lad. Appreciated. And for the new channel members, Paul Tucker and the UFO man who's rejoined from. I appreciate you guys. The channel is not the same without you. It makes it just, I don't know, it puts out. I don't know about your nipples, Lee, but my nipples. When we get
I'm not starting about Tic Tac Gate and my lack of one, and the fact that someone on the TikTok thing,
I'll make a ginger Tic Tac,
still got one, and he even stormed off the show and doesn't speak to anyone anymore.
I'd love to speak to Rich again. Rich Northwood, if you're watching the
fucking
show,
like
come
Rich.
back. I like Rich. Clever guy.
Yeah, he was great on the show.
Mm.
Especially the show we did about the the Thingy Institute. I forgot the name. The Monroe Institute.
Monroe Institute, yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking great.
Absolutely brilliant. I might clip
I've got
this
myself into
as a
some really
private video and just send it to him.
Yeah, I've got myself. I mean, I'm not saying I've astral traveled or anything like that, but I've got myself into some very odd situations listening to those Gateway tapes.
I listened to Rich Northwood actually sent me those. I'd never heard of it. He sent me the Gateway.
Gateway Experience, is it? Like
he sent me some downloads of it.
Yeah,
and I listened to them when I was in hospital, and it was absolutely fantastic. I actually
really
closed my eyes and I could see purple light. It was weird, really, really weird. I recommend.
They make me pass out.
I wanted to because I've got a phobia of hospitals. But yeah, it didn't make me pass out, unfortunately. But yeah, there he is. There's the guy, Paul Tucker in the house. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. We love the love. So tonight's show, people, I think from we kind of saw and we kind of expected it when we interviewed Michael Horn, a bit of a backlash when it comes to the believers of the Meier case.
Or just him and his like soccer accounts, which is what I think it might be.
But with all due respect to that community, and I respect any community in the UFO world, paranormal world, because it's bizarre. Believe what you want to believe. But my worry with this field is the massive push we've seen over the last few years when it comes to getting ufology in mainstream media. And I know you said this a few times, Lee. Where's the end game? What is this leading to? And I also wanted to put a bit of They Live in there because...
Okay. Do you know what? Don't like the film.
Oh, no, the concept is genius.
Execution, not so much.
Well, if you like that cheesy 80s style, low budget...
No, because look.
Hey, listen, look, I've got a They Live pop.
Yeah, look, there was
from
some good... There's been some good horror movies in the 80s, mate.
That wasn't one of them.
No. So Roddy Piper's dead interesting though, isn't he? Like he went sort of super awake. Like like relocated his whole family like off to live on a mountain somewhere, and he had some really interesting views towards the end of his life. It would have been interesting. I wish he'd stayed alive.
So good interview.
Oh, well, absolutely. I was a big Roddy Piper fan when I was a kid. He was one of my favorites. But it would have been interesting if he'd have still been around over the last couple of years. I think the They Live thing, although a cheesy movie, a low budget movie, there was a reason he did that. There was a reason he did that role, and I think he would have very much been a quiet conspiracy theorist of his time. I think.
I never knew that. I thought he just got told to do a film. Not told, but offered to do a film and did the film.
Oddly enough, pro wrestlers, there's been
conspiracies around them, like The Rock.
No, like conspiracy theorists. I mean, Chris Jericho has had like flat earthers and stuff like that on the Talk Is Jericho podcast. AJ Styles in a it was one of those things. They tried doing like a talk show after SmackDown for a while. I can't remember what it was called. If it wasn't called Talking Smack, something went wrong. I and AJ Styles essentially came out as a flat earther. AJ Styles is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He is my son's namesake because I didn't really want to call my son Alan. So what I did do was my name is, my son shares my middle name and my surname, and I managed to and with his first name. I just don't like saying names on the internet. Sorry, but his
I get
initials.
that. I don't like.
Yeah. His initials are AJS, so AJ Styles.
Nice.
Yeah. So then there was the Hameen Media Group with Stevie Richards, who I was almost got involved in a radio station in New York, actually, with on the same thing as that Stevie Richards was doing.
I remember that.
Yeah. It just never worked, and it would have been. I was under the impression
is that the one that you interviewed and then they offered you?
We're still friends on Twitter. I might hit him up about an interview to come on here. With time zones and stuff, it would have been impossible because it was live radio. I thought it was a case of just taking must-see audio as a pre-recorded show and then pre-recording that show and then that getting played at some point on radio. But
you'd been a vampire.
Yeah, the chances of me getting a slot on that, which would have fitted with our time zone, is fucking not gonna happen. But yeah, the Stevie Richards. People, if anyone remembers the Attitude Era, they might remember Steve Richards, who was in the Blue World Order in WWE. He is like an out there conspiracy theorist. They used to have a show called The Conspiracy Horsemen. It was him, Ben Hameen, and somebody else who I forgot. I forgot now. But yeah. There's always been that thing where like the wrestlers that used to be on these conspiracy shows would always say, obviously, if you're involved in like an angle in wrestling, it's called a work, and they would always say that a worker can see a work a mile off, and that's why these guys feel that wrestlers could see conspiracy where it was.
So you was it ever said that why Randy Piper did They Live was because of that, or is that what some people just believe?
No, but like some of the stuff he said, was very sort of New World Order-esque. I listened to Alex Jones sort of stuff,
right?
So yeah.
Do you think there's a lot of truth to that film though? When you look at today's society, do you think there is like?
Do I think they walk among us type stuff?
Maybe not the aliens that look like skeletons, or not aliens as such, but do you think
I've got no doubt left, so why not?
Do you think there is a higher power in control that could possibly not be human? When I say that, I don't mean necessarily an alien, because we go down many different routes here on Alien Addict. We talk about aliens, we talk about demons, we talk about the paranormal in general.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's like this massive steer when it comes to the subject of UFOs, extraterrestrials? Do you think it's leading somewhere?
Well, let's reverse engineer it then, where if we take things back to a simpler time, like pre 9/11 sort of time, when we were the glory days of YouTube, we were all waking up on Sunday morning with a rotten hangover, flicking our plastic MacBooks open, and just watching hours of crazy stuff from like the Von Helton talking about like alien spaceships that were going to come to Earth in 2012, or David Icke walking around London showing all the Masonic symbology, and Alex Jones talking about the New World Order and the globalists that were all coming to get us. That all felt, although I would say believable in a way, but it was kind of still like when you'd watch a documentary about Bigfoot or aliens. It was like it was believable in a sense, but can't see it. You know, it's fun. Yeah. I think we can't say without a shadow of a doubt, because you can't say anything without a shadow of a doubt. But that New World Order thing looks a lot more real now.
Yeah, I mean, I told you about my mate, didn't I, years ago, like with the Nibiru thing, and like he's been saying stuff like this for years, and I'm like, oh yeah, but mate, you panicked about Nibiru.
Mm-hmm.
But now, the times we live in now, I'm kind of on board with that. There's something definitely brewing.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's good.
If you take that whole idea of like the globalist New World Order thing, you know, that was the, or like the Illuminati agenda or something. That's kind of got a face now. It's got a face in the World Economic Forum, and that face has a website and a chairman and yearly meetups where all of the world's leaders get together with all the other important politicians and businessmen and heads of tech industries and have a conversation about how they think the world should be led. So we've gone from Alex Jones screaming outside of a hotel at the Bilderberg meeting, where you go, right, okay, what you're saying is very interesting. It's interesting these powerful people are going to meet up in a hotel lobby and talk to each other, but that's not really strange. But then now you have Klaus Schwab talking about how, you know, it's within the next decade we'll all have brain implants, and you know, it's the COOF as being a real chance to reshape for a fifth industrial revolution, for third industrial revolution, whichever industrial revolution it would be, fourth. So regardless of whether what these people want to do is real, there is definitely like 100% a group of powerful people that would like to bend the world to their benefit, let's say. Now that go on. No, I was just going to say that doesn't necessarily mean that that's not to our benefit as well. Who knows? Maybe they're right. Don't think they are, but that organization, the globalists, is a real entity now. It's not just the rantings of Alex Jones slamming his fists on the table, talking about how they're going to turn frogs gay. The globalists are fucking real.
Did you, speaking of like when people in power and all that, because you normally send me something, and I've not noticed you send it on our group. Have you seen the Pope disappear?
Yes, I have seen the Pope disappear.
What the fuck do you make of that?
It's fucking wild. Like all of the other stuff is fucking wild, and it's you.
So fitting with time. I'm gonna have to try and find it.
But this is the thing. In one of these things, in isolation is strange, but then when you link that with the like what appears to be world leaders wearing masks of themselves, supposedly, the strange stories. You know, there was a certain laptop that was recovered in New York. I won't say the name of the person because I'm sure I'll get the video flagged. But something like 40 police officers that saw that committed that one where you do it yourself.
Yeah.
40 odd.
That's weird.
I thought it was 12 up until the other day, and somebody smartened me up. I was like, actually, it's a lot. There's so like the world is so much stranger and darker than we can possibly imagine.
Has anybody come up with an explanation for this?
The vanishing Pope? I don't think so.
As the Vatican said it, because I mean, I'm not being funny. You can blame NASA on a something to do with the stream because it's so far up or down, whichever way you want to look at it. I just don't know how you can say that this is something to do with a glitch on the camera because he blatantly just disappears.
Yeah. See, right, there's a wider conversation to be had here. So obviously this was on a news network. I'm not sure what news network this was on. I'm pretty sure that the idea was why they wouldn't have a longer bloody video. I have no idea, because that's clearly a screen in front of that window, and that's if any of it's even real. You know, do you know what I mean? So who's to say that actual frame isn't something that's being created just to do this? So I don't know why you wouldn't have a longer frame of him walking away.
Yeah.
But the way that he disappears and then the camera cuts suggests to me that the news network was in on what they should be doing. You know, they should have cut to a different camera quicker than they did, and they messed up.
That's just scary to think that like
what that
everybody's in on it.
What that well, it's not. I see that's the thing. I don't think everybody's in, and I do think mainstream media is, like, to a large part. You've seen that the sponsored by Pfizer video, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What? Why that Pope one though? I mean, it's old. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not new. It's from 2 years ago, but people are talking about it now like it's like brand new. Is that because they've only certain people have only just picked up on it?
Yeah. I didn't realize it had resurfaced its head.
Yeah, recently it's kind of like people just started to talk about it.
But there's so much of this stuff, and some part of me wonder whether the internet got away from these people. You know, they didn't expect like the level of sophistication of like civilian tools and like civilian journalists, and the not even civilian journalists, but the fact that we would get to a point so quickly, that would go from YouTube to like literally two morons like us being able to set a show up and then stream to hundreds or thousands of people a week.
Well, that's it. And maybe we are morons because, you know, maybe that clip of the Pope is actually just something that, you know, when you get so far away, the camera will glitch. I tend to not think so. I've never seen that ever before.
Cameras don't make people magic.
No, but that's the same with the NASA one when the guy fades out and it's
At least he fades out. At least that could be some sort of blend.
At least that was a nice blend, yeah.
Yeah, but that's just a clear, like, a cut.
But maybe that they could turn around and go, well, you know what, you're right, yeah. He wasn't actually there. He was in the next room filming it, and that was because we don't want, you know, we don't want any risk of, you know, the old. So he's not actually there,
and that's perfectly fine. I get that as well. I do. I can understand why you would need to keep the Pope safe. I'm sure there's a few people that don't want him to be about, but it's still odd, isn't it?
Odd is the
and
right
this is the
phrase.
but we are getting into the I know I've said it before. It's like and I always forget the real name of the theory, or whether it might be this or not. But it's that whole bullshit hypothesis that all these things are purposely thrown out, like they're purposely put out in order to confuse people and just keep a mild smattering of confusion everywhere.
But how much bullshit do you need to say to you realize that it fucking stinks?
Because it's different flavors of bullshit. So you constantly it breeds conspiracy. So then if something breeds conspiracy, it kind of backs itself up, because then you can get enough people that will go looking for things, and before you know it, they've created a whole chain of events that make this one implausible thing plausible.
Do you have that? Because I had not seen that before. That UFO that you showed me and Dave. That's just surfaced from the UK.
Yeah, you'll have to find that on our little chat, mate, because my my laptop is streaming to TikTok and I can't get it.
Let me get it up, because that's interesting. What did Dave say? What it was?
Magic.
No, he said it could be red, like the Red Bull.
Oh, the Red Bull display.
Yeah,
Maybe.
all right, let me.
Not sure what they'll be doing at the middle of the M25 or whatever it was.
When was this put out, Lee?
I just saw it today and thought that's really interesting. Like that's.
I've never seen this before. I think
Yeah,
it's
no,
new.
I'd never seen it. I think I've seen something like it before, oddly enough, but I can't remember where.
Let me bring it up for you guys. This is somewhere in the UK. You can tell it's the UK because they sound normal.
Yeah, because we trust them implicitly.
Right, here we go. Is that on the screen, Lee?
Yes, it is. I should have said no. Damn it.
Shall I make it big?
Yeah, I've made it big.
I'll make it bigger. There we go.
You made it slightly bigger.
That's not firework. That's fucking madness, whatever that is. Did we take any drugs for that? No. What is that?
What is a thing? It's an object.
Right. Check out young Einstein in the back there.
It's an object.
It's a thing.
It probably. I mean, it just seems a bit late for an air show, because normally an air show is in the like. I mean, that looks like
but that's just like a full-on right angle. It goes directly up and then straight left. That's really odd.
that
Like,
spiral thing is
yeah.
As you would say.
Someone said
wild.
pyrotechnic drones. Maybe.
Oh, bring it up again. Why not? Let's get it up again. Has anybody in the chat? Has anybody seen this before, or is this a new one?
Look there.
That's not firework. That's fucking madness, whatever that is. Did we take any drugs for that? No. What is that?
What is a thing? It's an object.
Sorry about that.
That's morning. I tell you, that is really early morning, and I mean like stupid early morning, because
That's
do you know how I know that?
On the way for a holiday. Go on.
He's just said, "Did we take any drugs in that club?" So they've just come back from a club. I hope the person driving is not had a drink,
but as long as he's not still driving, I'm sure he's fine.
Listen, he says, "Did we take any drugs?"
That's not firework. That's fucking madness, whatever that is. Did we take take any drugs or that? No. What is that?
What is the thing? It's an object.
I want to know what that is.
Sheila aliens, yeah. It's I don't know if I was wondering that whether you could see it properly because I can't see it properly on my monitor. But the yeah, they do spiral. It's like two balls. They seem to be like spiraling each other. It's really quite strange when you see it in HD. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they kind of go like the Red Bull planes. They go round. It kind of they do that thing, but then it goes into one object.
I know. Do they, or is it just perspective? I'm not sure. And they also seem to burn out too, which would suggest some sort of firework. But dead odd again. The world's just full of odd.
Where are we? Oh. I mean, it does look like it comes to one thing, but they could just be flying together as.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I'd have to look again on something that's like.
Yeah, I want to know
diff.
I want to know the date. How do you find that out on TikTok when it was put out? Does it?
I think if you follow the link to their account, and you'll be able to see maybe able to see where it came out when it came out.
Oh, I can't follow it because I was saying that like a lot of the comments are from today.
Sheila Alien said the flares used on pyrotechnic skydivers and aircrafts burn out. Maybe.
Yeah, skydivers, but skydivers don't. I totally. Yeah, I've seen those. Stephen Greer used some skydivers in one of his videos, but that went straight up.
That's the other thing to say. It obviously it probably is some sort of display thing because it's launched.
Yeah, it did launch.
If it had just come in from the side doing the spirally thing, it would be more interesting than something that sort of launched from the ground and over. No. Yeah. But yeah,
I know what you mean. I know.
have
you seen them skydivers before? The night divers that do with all the flares attached to them or whatever.
No.
They can be very much mistaken with UFOs.
Just because every light in the sky looks like
you've got that
light in the sky.
But with that one, you've got that like kind of rocket takeoff, and that's in the fucking UK.
I tell you, I bet there's loads. Like there's some headland where I live, about half an hour's drive. And if you sort of walk up the side of it a little bit and sit on the hedge, if you sit in the right place, the planes coming into land are head on with you. And I always think there must be so many head on planes mistaken for something that's like, because like a plane head on looks weird because you can't see the I always think that there must be so many people that see that and think, oh my god, aliens are here.
Sometimes so if I'm driving past Doncaster, sometimes I see planes coming into land, and when you see them on the side, and if the sun hits them, you can't see the wings, so they look like cigar-shaped UFOs. All you can see is the fuselage. That's all you can see.
Yeah,
nothing else. But that's weird that you sent us today. That is really fucking strange. And I think it was about the comments started 4 days ago. So
interesting. To get back onto our point, the like the they live point, and because what I was going to say is about the sort of globalist group sort of being a real thing, is it gets back to that what's real doesn't matter if these people believe something. You know, it's when if someone turns around and says, oh, like I'll be dead honest. There's no point not being honest these days. It's I'm like I said, I've got no doubt left in me to try and hide things. But I believe there is like something akin to like a satanic cult that's like hidden from us, like a old mystery school type cult that has its claws embedded deep into various political parties and think tanks and the like tech especially that are like trying to socially move us around. And that's where you're saying, do you think there could be something that's off world or like non-human? At that point it doesn't matter, because if a man breaks into your house and because his god has told him that he needs to off you and anyone else that happens to be around you, at that point the threat's very real to you. It doesn't matter whether he's delusional or not, because he believes it and he's acting on his beliefs. So I don't know if any of these things are non-human, but I 100% believe there is a section of our population that are very influential and very powerful that believe they are acting in either for or because of something that they believe is non-human.
Well, there must be a promise there, though. You know, there must be something if that's the case.
Well, what's Christianity promises? Christianity promises if we're just good people, we do everything.
Is it eternal life or whatever?
Yeah, we go to heaven. We get to sit with cherubs on clouds, and it's all nice. So yeah, that's that's the promise. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying it doesn't matter whether it's real or not. But I also don't believe that when you see so much stuff which is soaked in like magic and, for want of better words, and ritual, and these were like look at the UK. We are going to do a ritual tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
we are still as advanced as we are, still soaked in ceremony. We still do these things. And it does that mean like what's going on tomorrow with the king? Is that is that all it is? Is it just a thing where everybody dresses up, we stick a crown on somebody, or is there another meaning behind it that we've lost over time, but they certainly haven't?
It does seem like there's been a huge influence when it comes to things that have happened over the last few years, things that have gone off all over the world when it comes to who you should and shouldn't like. And there's been so many whistleblowers that talk about what's going on in the world, and then I mean, look at the guy that was on Joe Rogan that you sent me the doctor from the NHS.
Asim Mahindra,
which a lot of his stuff that he said has been very factual stuff, and his career was put on the line, his reputation, everything, and all because of people that are just bigger. They're but it must stem from something that's ancient, from way back. I think it's been going on a long time, and I think when you as somebody watching this might think, well, what the fuck has this got to do with UFOs and aliens? And my argument with that is
it's being used as a tool. It's right now it's being used as a tool.
the UFO thing has been used massively over the last few years. But I don't know where it's going to... people keep thinking it's going to lead to some sort of disclosure. And it's like...
You could argue that
But it's already happened.
No, but you could argue that the current UFO situation we're in, like we always think back to that New York, was it fucking New York Times? Is it New York Times? Yeah,
New
it
York
was a New
Times,
York Times article. Yeah, I always say New York Post, and I know it's wrong when I say it.
It's okay. Well, you're neither British or American, so it's fine.
No, no, unless it's like the Narnia Post. I don't know.
Such a good name.
You could argue that this all stems back to the like Podesta emails that WikiLeaks did, because they have in those, as well as some other stuff in there that people should really go and have a look at, involving Gates and things, not Bill Gates, Gates. That backed up Tom DeLonge's story about how he was dragged into it, and he was in contact with Podesta. And that was to the beginning to the Stars Academy, which is what gave us Lou Elizondo, which what opened the door up to everything else that's preceded, especially from that infamous interview with Rogan and Tom DeLonge. Tom DeLonge's dad, I believe, did Tom DeLonge's dad, was he a CIA operative? I know he's a high-ranking Freemason.
I don't know about this.
Something like that. I'm sure there's something like that.
Really?
Yeah, and Tom DeLonge himself has he's
got on his guitar,
rocking the old G on his guitar.
I don't know anything about Tom DeLonge's dad, though.
I think he might be. I'll have to. I'm sure.
Are
Tom.
Are you calling Chris Mellon Tom DeLonge's dad?
No, I'm not. I'm sure. I'm sure there's some sort of connection, military connection or CIA connection with Tom DeLonge's family.
People in the chat is Lee talking shit.
Someone go and fact check me, please, because there's so many of these things when you look back, like but you look back through history, Frank Zappa and Jim Morrison's parents were both in the CIA. Elvis was outed as like an FBI informant or something like that at some point. Right. You look back at these like famous celebrities that look like they should be rebels, and you scratch the surface a little bit. It's anything but. So I'm almost convinced.
Quickly, while you're on the subject of Tom DeLonge, though, did you see that Weinstein's put out a tweet?
I did see the Weinstein Lazar that there'd been a conversation, and he made sure he stated in that as well that if it happens, it will be Rogan, Weinstein, and Lazar.
Yeah, did you watch that, Lou? Have you watched Lou Review's latest?
I saw it. I haven't had a chance to watch it.
So basically says in that there's going to have to be a response. I think George Knapp put out something like a penis, the shape of it was an iceberg with a penis or something like that. I've not.
I saw the that UFO chick also tweeted that this morning. I saw.
Yeah, but Joe Rogan is well aware that he must be aware that these tweets are going around, because I'm sure he's quite in there. I'm sure Jamie looks and says, "Joe, this is going on." There is this, and it's probably quite a small part of the community that is tweeting about this, that's wanting this to happen. Jeremy Corbell definitely knows, and I'm pretty sure that conversation has happened. So, even the only person that I think would hold that back, or do you think Jeremy might hold that back because he knows that the film will fall apart if Bob can't hold his own against Weinstein?
I think he's kind of in a barrel now because, first of all, he doesn't need to protect that that film anymore. That film's made all the money it's going to make. It's now free on YouTube if you want to go and watch it. If he's going to put something else out involving Lazar, then I would say he needs to do that interview because if he doesn't, it's going to be a cloud that hangs over it. I'm just going to pop this up for a second and say that Rogan like entertainment thing, I take it's sort of a tongue-in-cheek thing. Can we not argue with the fact that Joe Rogan has probably been the best purveyor of health facts when it has come to certain things over the past 2 years? And if you listen to them instead of your daily government briefing, I reckon your blood's probably a little bit healthier for it.
I like Rogan. I've even got my. I was saying earlier, I've got my wife listening to Rogan now.
I think, right? Can you imagine what? So let's go, because I think, I think the names are okay now. From McCullough, we'll just go with surnames, to the what's the guy, his name? Grey hair, beard. Yeah, I mean, don't you? Why is his name escaping me right now when I need it? Where's my brain gone?
I don't know who you're talking about.
It doesn't matter, right? But what I'm trying to say is when you look at the people he's had on over the past 2 years that have got him in bother, people that have been until recently, until Musk got Twitter, like silenced on all social media platforms, and these people with valid opinions, and in most cases much better qualifications than the people that were being wheeled out on BBC and Fox News and CNN for you.
He's not biased about it though, because he's had people from like
but what I'm trying to say is, where's the world without that? Because if it isn't for Rogan, there's no other there's no other.
Well, there's others trying to do a similar thing.
No, but they haven't got the numbers. That's what I mean. Yeah, if Rogan had decided not to do that, I do wonder we would be in a different place now. I like certainly without certain without having better, I'd say a better balance of information, because obviously you get what the mainstream opinion is of everything. So without that other side, I might have made different decisions, which I think now would have been drastically detrimental to my health.
Yeah, so I agree.
But this goes even back to the UFO and the Lazar thing. I'm interested to know why Rogan is continuing with it.
That story.
Yeah.
So he I don't know if you've seen him say this to quite a few guests.
That there's something he can't say on camera that he was told.
Yeah, he said there's a reason, and I'll explain to you after the show.
Yeah.
But I can't say this on camera. And it's something to do with something really bad that Bob Lazar did for them. What he had to do. So if that's the case, then what I would suggest, Joe, Eric Weinstein, Bob Lazar, I'm sure Jeremy will have to come, go for a meal first. And Bob should tell that story to Eric.
I'd like to know why he won't. I'd like to know why that isn't said. If that's the straw that could break the camel's back with Rogan, why wouldn't you just make that like an out there thing?
I mean, so Rogan spoke to Weinstein. He spoke to Bob Lazar.
Mm.
After speaking to Weinstein, it seems like Joe Rogan still believes Bob Lazar, because he spoke about Bob Lazar the other day. I can't remember which podcast it was, but he mentioned Bob Lazar again. And the same thing, I'll tell you after the show. So, I mean, he's had a full meal with the guy. I mean, how long's a meal last? You got drinks and all that jazz. It's probably a few hours, maybe the same amount of time that they had on the podcast, just speaking frank to each other. But he considers Lazar an extremely intelligent man, and I suppose Lazar is an intelligent man. You know, he'll know a lot more about physics than I do. But when you put him in front of a mathematician like Einstein, you know, he will be able to pick certain parts of that story apart that he's saying, unless he can back that up. I mean, it would be a conversation. If Lazar can hold his own, it would be a podcast. It'd be a great podcast. It'd be a podcast that we wouldn't understand, because they would be speaking in terms that
I know, because I don't think
you don't think Joe would allow that to happen. You think
I don't think Weinstein would allow that to happen. Weinstein's
he's great at explaining it to the simple man.
Yeah, and he understands that's his job as well. You know, a handful of people, I think, deserve the term like unique thinker, and I think he is a unique thinker. The way his head attacks problems is quite different to lots of other people. I'm a big fan of his. I don't know. I can't help feel that this is still part of it. This is still there's an ending to this, to the movie. I keep saying that. It feels like we went to bed on like on the eve of October 2019, and we woke up and have been in a sci-fi movie ever since.
Maybe we're just in purgatory.
Maybe we all died in 2012 like that kid thinks.
I hope it's not purgatory, because it's boring.
Is it? Is it really? You can say a lot about what's going on right now. You can say it's depressing. You can say it's scary.
It's interesting.
It's not boring.
I'm just on about my life.
All right, I'm not your therapist.
I need one. Do you still believe Bob Lazar after everything because you've been on? I interviewed Lou. You interviewed Lou. You had Lou.
I want to believe Bob Lazar. I want to believe Bob Lazar. Of course I do, because it's great. And I don't know what to think about it. What I do think is that I do believe alien scientist, and if he doesn't believe it, that gives me reason not to believe it, because I don't think he.
Do you believe it?
No, I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, I want, what I'm saying is I want to believe Bob Lazar, but I do believe alien scientist, because I don't think there's I don't think he has any real there's no like monetary impact for him for what he for what he did with the Lazar thing.
I know he was a massive Lazar believer.
Yeah.
I know.
He
He fucking loved that story.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know. That's the thing. Like there's very few things, like you can put your like hat on and say, I believe this 100%. And even if you believe something, it's difficult. It's difficult to believe something 100%. So I don't know. I see. I can see the side of where the holes in his education have problems. But I can also see the people that argue that if you have programs like this, you would get intelligent people that are compromised, that are expendable to work on them, because nobody had asked questions. If all of a sudden he gets fucking sucked into a black hole in the middle of the antimatter engine, they go, "Oh well, we need a new Bob." Doesn't matter. He owned a brothel at some point. There's going to be he's not going to come home one day and his wife's going to think gangsters got him. So I can understand why you would take people like that. It's they're essentially scientific cannon fodder.
Let's just say, and I do know Corbell every so often does watch this show. We have had a back and forth on email. You asked, I gave you my number, Jeremy. You never called me. True story. Yeah, he asked me for my WhatsApp number, and I gave him it. He says, "Let's have a call about Bob." He said, "I appreciate the work you do." This was years ago, and he said, "But there's a few things you need to know about the story before you carry on." And I don't know if he would have told me maybe what he told Joe Rogan. I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. I'm probably just thinking too highly of myself there. But he here's the thing. If he could get Bob Lazar on that show, even if he thinks that Weinstein will fucking destroy him, and he must know. I think if you've worked so close to Bob Lazar, I don't think Jeremy's a fool. I think he's a very intelligent man. He knows what he's doing, especially when it comes to this subject and selling it. If he thinks Bob Lazar's lying, he should still get Bob to go in front of Weinstein. If he
I
can.
don't think you can do what he does if he thinks it's lying. Now, that's one thing I will say about Jeremy Corbell. I believe he believes this story.
Well, if you think Jeremy thinks Bob's telling the truth?
Yeah, but if
Jeremy thinks Bob's telling the truth, then he would have asked Bob to go in front of Weinstein.
Yeah, but in the same respect, I'm not sure whether this is the thing, right? Do we entertain the idea that there are lifelong actors? Like there are people that are like born and bred into being in a certain situation, be it in politics or entertainment, they're so mission, they are prepped like a royal. They are prepped.
People in the day job are lifelong actors. When I go to work, I'm an actor. I'm not myself.
No. Yeah, but you weren't bred to do that. What I mean by lifelong actors is like that from day of conception.
You've got to lie.
No, but they are prepped for this. They are prepped to. This is going to be your job.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think there's a good chance if that's a real thing. I think there's a good chance Bob Lazar is a lifetime actor, and the seeds for what we are going through right now have been planted decades ago. Back at Roswell, it doesn't take too many leaps to go, and this is where if you want to go weird, if we want to go weird, this is where you can bring the non-human intelligence aspect into it, because if we look at this as a plan that has spread out tens, hundreds of years, maybe to push us into this point that we are now, and maybe it's another 10, 20, 30 years away from where the end game is for this. It feels like it's working on a non-human timescale.
Mm.
And that's it's some. There was someone else brought this up. I can't remember who it is to credit but someone said the people always turn around and say people couldn't work this out. And you're right, okay, but what if people aren't doing it? And what if it is like interdimensional? So if all of a sudden, if your adversary, for instance, could see like time and space, not as like a linear pattern, but could see into the future and past and connect the dots as they're creating the plan, you would end up with this sprawling narrative that feels like it couldn't have been concocted by a person, because a person couldn't do that. If I made any sense, then that would be
No,
correct.
you did. Yeah, you made sense. But why could a person not do it?
Because you couldn't. First of all, people are selfish.
Given all the tools.
Not given up. Well, the tools would be being able to being able to understand what will happen 50 years down the line. If there's anything that people are, is we are impatient, we are selfish.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And when you look at history and you think people are planning long term,
yeah, it doesn't feel like a human thing to do.
There's not a lot of long term human things. No.
Most people try and get things done in their lifetime. Look at Elon Musk. We maybe it's a different rabbit hole to go down of whether we're going to go to Mars or not. But
let's get on Musk in a minute. I want to go down the Musk route.
If you take everything at face value, he has took the mission to Mars as, I want this to happen in my lifetime. It's probably not going to happen in his lifetime, but that's what he wants to do.
I'm pretty sure that he said, no, that's the moon. Moon's 2025.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's mentioned something like 2030.
Yeah, it's not. It won't happen.
Maybe it will with the Tesla bot.
Look what happened with Japan. Look what happened with that. With the probe they sent up. Oh no, we've lost it again. Whoa, how weird.
Really quickly, because I definitely want to get on. We'll get onto the Elon. I want to talk some Elon with my partner in crime. Because I know you secretly like got a little crush. Just a tiny one.
Mm-hmm. On who?
On the Musk.
I want to hope he's one of the good guys. That's all. That's the secret to this is not to get blackpilled. I think that's the thing, and because nihilism helps nobody. And I know people that listen to this show. I know that will whenever somebody's brought up, like when we've had like Rogan in a thumbnail, then the next thing is that I get a picture sent of me of Rogan and Anton LaVey, and what?
I'm just trying to think if we ever done Rogan in a thumbnail.
Oh, I think we did in the title, something like that. Yeah. And the thing is, I don't believe everybody's in on it. And even if people know things, this is the thing to remember. And I think this is where Musk might come into it. Is I think even if people understand what's going on, and I'm sure, like you're talking about, Musk is one of the, like, as far as visible rich people, one of the richest people in the world. I'm sure there are people with more money and more resources.
One of the visibly richest people in the world.
Yes.
You mean? Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure that he has information on this stuff and all things, and not just like conspiracy stuff, geopolitics stuff, which in itself is a real conspiracy. But the things that we don't know will be available to people with access. Same with Joe Rogan. Like the amount of people he has access to, he will know stuff that we simply don't have access to. I feel that there will be people out there that are in positions of power and authority and great influence that might turn around and say, "Well, do you know what? We hear this Great Reset talk, and we hear the Agenda 2030 talk, and we quite like 2008. We quite like 2008, and we don't want to go along with this." And I think that's all it could be. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're particularly virtuous. They might be doing terrible things. You know, Elon Musk might be a horrible human being. But sometimes if your core values align with a horrible person, then you've got to kind of put the bits you don't like aside and go, right, well, at least we're on the same team here. We can agree. We can agree that global enslavement is not a good idea.
Do you think that the Musk knows anything about what this is when we come to the lights in the sky? Because let's face it, you know, after all these years, even as innovative that Musk is, and he is, he's still making solid state fucking rockets.
Well, I don't believe in spaceships, so yeah.
I mean, well, there you go. But like, if that is a real thing,
Yeah. No, in that case, no, I don't believe Bob Lazar, because Bob Lazar sells spaceships. I don't believe in spaceships. So yeah, no, I don't think there's any evidence that these things are physical craft.
but you know what I'm saying? If this is a real thing, if this thing exists, I fucking guarantee that Elon Musk will know about it. He's looking at you.
Yeah. Or at least he'll have heard better rumors than we do. And you know, think about it, right? Think about the defecting that would happen if that was to be a thing. Well, you know, would Lazar have done? Would Lazar have gone to like George Knapp to talk behind a camera, or would he have done a Snowden?
You could look at it two ways. That either you say something, and because it's out there, they can't fucking kill you, or you keep quiet and wait for the bullet. If it happened, because I think I think so for people that say, well, why would he come forward?
Well, he's a free man. That's the thing. Like he's a free man to go and do what he wants. And if it was true, would he have not been like? If the US government want nothing to do with him, yeah, and he's been working on extraterrestrial spaceship, why wasn't he rustled up by the KGB?
I think I heard somewhere in there been a film rumored to be made.
I'm sure there's many films rumored to be made. You're gonna have to expand
on Lazar, on Bob Lazar.
Is this like insider talk where I've got to pretend that we haven't had an email about something? Is this what you were talking about to me this afternoon?
No, it's not about that. No,
Right,
that's a different email. Did that email read like that?
What?
I didn't read that in that email.
A documentary?
Yeah, documentary. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a documentary. There's a documentary out there, people, but nobody does that. We can say that. There's a documentary out there that's about to come out. But no, that's not a film.
A documentary's still a film. It's a documentary film.
I've been sent the documentary now, I think.
Have you?
I think I've been sent it, yeah.
Oh, you watch it then. I think that's the deal, isn't it? You get to watch it. I don't get to watch it then.
Yeah, mate.
It's all very, very Mulder and Scully, isn't it?
Well, no, he said you either watch it and don't tell me.
No, you watch it. You watch it. I will be the discerning eyes.
No, but I wasn't talking about the documentary. And what I'm saying is, if they make a film, even if if he goes on with Weinstein and Weinstein pulls him apart,
yeah,
and the story ends, there's still a fucking amazing film there. There's like a movie about that guy's fucking life, UFOs, prostitutes, a massive following, going on the biggest podcast in the world. I don't know who played Joe Rogan, probably himself. It's fucking crazy. It's absolute. That guy's life is just madness.
Yeah.
And if there's any truth to him, when you're on the subject of Elon Musk, he must fucking know about Bob Lazar. He must. But I've watched every interview with Elon Musk when it got. Well, I haven't watched every single interview, but I've watched like Lax. I've watched. It's been twice on Joe Rogan. Is it that right?
Who? Lazar?
Elon.
Oh, yeah, 3 times, maybe 4.
So I know one of them was after Lazar. Not one mention. I would have loved to for him to say, do you know who Bob Lazar is, and like see what his opinion is on that.
Yeah, I think maybe it'd be interesting now to get him on because he seems to be a more liberal with allowing his views to be out now. I think there must be something quite liberating in being permanently attacked, because he wasn't for a while. It's like I think one of my favorite tweets when everyone was going mental about Musk buying Twitter and saying how terrible it was. I remember tweeting that the same people complaining about Elon Musk buying Twitter are the same people that would have bathed in his cum a year ago. And but yeah, so that thing where you there's no point in trying to like keep a side happy, because you never will do that side. There is a vocal part of the internet which I don't believe thinks for themselves. I think it's probably aggravated by if not domestic or foreign bad actors that rile these people up and push all sorts of crazy ideologies our way.
Talk about Bud Light.
Yeah, all of it. Which is weird as well. Joe, even that's weird because they didn't lose anywhere near as much money as what was being reported.
Did they not?
No, and the whole thing reeks of just shit to get people to argue with each other again. And it's, like that Dylan guy. I don't particularly like him. I don't particularly like what he's selling. But you know what? Of course he's going to do that. If Bud Light comes to you and says, we're going to send you some cans, we make a TikTok, we'll pay you for it, you're going to go, yeah, okay, we'll do it. Whatever. Yeah. Bud Light want to ring us. If they've decided like they haven't captured enough of the alien market, get in touch with us. We will hook you up with some of the alien market.
I'll drink Bud Light on the show. I can't fucking stand it.
I quite like a Bud. Do you know what's nice? That you don't get. I
used to like proper Budweiser.
No, but proper Budweiser is too sweet. But in the metal bottles that you get in the US, you get them in theme parks and like aluminium bottles of Bud Light Lime. Bud Light Lime is nice.
I just like a normal beer.
I just like most beers, to be perfectly honest.
Give me an old man beer. My beer even has, I don't know if I should show the logo.
Why? They might sponsor us.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Bit of Madrid. He's got an old man. It's got, like, I don't know if he's an old guy. He's a gentleman. It's good beer.
But, yeah. Sorry. Fuck. Off on a tangent.
Lee, our show is just.
It's all tangents.
It is. Give him a minute.
Yeah. Sorry. That's what I was saying. I think that if you're going to get permanently attacked by people, then it must be quite liberating to just be yourself. It doesn't matter at that point. Do you know what I mean? And it's not like you can cancel Elon Musk in the same way as you can't cancel Joe Rogan, and it's the you couldn't cancel J.K. Rowling.
I love them wizard films.
I love them wizard films as well. Quite like that wizard
I watch
game
you and my
too.
kids. Oh, that's a good game.
Yeah,
Damn good game.
Yeah.
The thing with Musk and Mars, though. So, and I know we started with them. They live, but it's like I said, it's me and Lee. We do this.
Mhm.
You make it this far. We could be talking about fucking aliens, and the
Question
next
for you,
minute,
Shagger.
did you drink that vodka? That vodka that my good friend Tony sent me from Australia is upstairs in my wife's office because there's no room on here at the minute.
Is Hangs Tight Tony?
No, Hangs Tight is not. It could be Tony because Tony changes his name. No, it's not. It's not Tony.
Right. You can take that mask off as well. Hangs Tight. It's officially over because I just read it on the BBC 6 hours ago.
Oh yeah, they did release that the COVID's ended.
Yeah, so technically we should be able to say everything now because it's not here anymore.
But no, I've not drunk the vodka. Lee, maybe I may. You know what?
Drunk the Kool-Aid though.
I might open the vodka when we can't drink too much of it because we may not catch his bus. But we could have there's some alien vodka that is in this house that has been filtered through asteroids. It actually says that on the label.
Listen,
are you a vodka man?
No, I'm not. And if there is one thing I'm not doing, it's that before we go on a fucking bizarre adventure together.
What about on the plane?
Oh no, I know I will have a couple of drinks. I'll have a drink in the airport and stuff. But I'm not drinking like fucking vodka that's been filtered through fucking fairy space dust. That's a bad move.
We'll drink it on the bus.
Oh fucking hell!
We'll take the fucking.
I'm not. You're not giving me half a bottle of vodka and fingering me. This is not what this is for. I'm not like a 14-year-old girl.
You're making me feel like a 14-year-old boy.
Oh, what? God.
Again, no YouTube. Before you say it, Michael, we're not pedos. It was a joke.
Last time you felt a 14-year-old boy, it was his mouth.
Elon, why do you say that you don't think he's going to go to that flew straight over my head? It's way over there now, Lee. I'm dropping that. Why do you say he's not, that you honestly don't think we're going to Mars?
Because I don't think we went there I don't think we went to the moon in the first place. I'm not going full flatty. That's not where I am. But there does appear to be something that stops us doing stuff. And the pictures that come back from the moon look fucking weird. And that picture that just came back of the new one of the moon, the Earth, the Moon, and the Earth. Have you seen that?
Mhm.
Jesus fuck nuggets! Why do they look so shit?
Well, you know it's real because it looks so fake.
No, no, no. I'd know if it was real, if it looked real. So I've no idea. No, like there's something screwy happens when we try and do shit.
2025, you'll find out. I mean, they're going back to the moon.
We were going back to the moon in Obama's presidency. We were going back to the moon in Trump's presidency. I can't remember if we were going back to the
That
moon
was
in
it was
Bush's.
2025. 2025. That was like announced years ago.
That was Trump.
And
No, but what I mean is that was the next day. You know, the
I think it's the I can't remember what. I think it's Elon's, but the amazing astronaut, who's a YouTuber, is actually going to
unfortunately
be
not GT. Thanks for being a subscriber and supplying me with the drugs I need to buy.
I think that if they don't go to the moon this time round, people are going to start asking questions.
I don't think I'll notice.
What in 2020?
I think we'll notice. We're not going to the moon in 2025. I'm not having it.
We're going to live stream it.
Well, we will. I'm sure we will. Yeah, we can live stream it.
We need to look for the mouse, at least. You know, we need to look for the mouse.
We need to look for the mouse.
I know. For anybody who's
I don't quite get that. The moon tells us something that makes you think it didn't happen. I take it you're asking what about the moon footage makes me think it didn't happen. The moon footage makes me think it didn't happen. The shadows make me think it didn't happen. You know, the idea that we could have so many failures on Earth of the technology and then have a crack at doing something first time round. I think the last 2 years have shown us that if we just try and do something without adequate testing, it goes fucking horribly wrong. I don't believe that on that day in history when we decided to shoot for the moon that it worked. I also don't think you'd have a contingency plan. Like, can you imagine that, right?
You do believe that there's a contingency plan because you believe the cubic, just like I'm like a big like I buy into the cubic. There was a plan, and cubic may have done that plan. I don't know if they didn't go to the moon. I do believe, same as you, that what my mum and dad saw on TV was not. I have a massive question.
I think Buzz Aldrin has told us we didn't go to the moon.
What, with that little girl?
Yeah. He's also done it twice, you know. There was another.
Yeah.
It was in the is it school in the UK? The university. Is it Cambridge or something like that? They have like the big debate room in Cambridge, and he did like a presentation there. And he said to like a younger, or not young, like 19, something like that, school like senior school age, that they didn't go. But that clip when he turns around to the young girl, and so the young girl said, "Why can't we go back to the moon?" And he said, "That's what I want to know, and it's because we didn't go there." And I don't get you wrong. Yeah, people say, "Oh yeah, well he's old and senile." And yeah, he is. He's old and senile, just like Slow Joe, and he's saying shit he shouldn't be saying. And they can't take him out of parking lot and just pop him off, because I'm sure there's too many people that are that are fans of his, even, that would ask too many questions if something like that was to happen.
But there's loads of people that have. I mean, there's 7 moon missions where they've landed on the moon. There's quite there's a few of them. I will say this: the first.
But if
one,
this is the thing, and this is what GT said here, and I get you, I get what you're saying here, GT. But the thing is, if one thing looks fake, then you have to call into question everything.
GT Skinny Bob, by the way, the channel member, with that lovely shiny head that we just.
Do you believe the Skinny Bob footage, GT?
No, I don't think he does.
No, good.
Or she. Or maybe. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
7 times, Ollie. 7 times. Have you looked at any of the other?
Yeah.
Do you think they look fake?
Yeah. I think it all, like, it's clear, it's better, but it all kind of looks the same.
It does look the same. It's all grey.
Mm.
The China one is brown,
Which is weird.
but is that on a different section of the moon, or is it because of the camera? If we're going to play devil's advocate.
Well, what I did find interesting, and this is something I don't even know if is real, to be perfectly honest, but I know there's an awful lot of people putting Mars photographs back into Photoshop, where Photoshop will tell you if that photo is being manipulated, and will allow you to auto correct the color manipulation out of it.
Yeah. There's loads of Mars channels doing that, and it's fucking amazing. How, you get the
looks a bit like Alaska.
It does, but how do you? So that auto correction.
Yeah.
How do you know you can trust that auto correction to know?
Well, I take it it's just looking for values,
it's fucking AI, isn't it? That's just whatever
well,
it is. Just
it's not AI. What it does is, I believe, and somebody can smart me up on this, is that it's contained within the metadata of the image. So if you need an original image first, yeah. So you can't just take a screen grab from Google and do it. It needs to be original image, and it looks at the metadata and goes, oh yeah, well, obviously it's it knows the sliders have been moved around, essentially, and can pop the sliders back to where they were before they were moved. Just Control Z's it.
I said this ages ago, and when we got and I started this channel as a fucking Mars, fucking moon channel. Yeah. I've still got files on this little hard drive here with tons of Mars images. I mean, tons. If you go back through the channel, you'll see all that. And when this AI generated art started to come out, I put a few I asked AI art to do Mars.
Mm.
And it looked just like what we're getting from the rovers. And I asked myself this: if AI for us now, the normal human being, is generating pretty much anything you want it to do, can you imagine what the higher ups have when it comes to?
Yeah, but I don't think it's necessary. It's not necessary. You don't need AI to fake.
No, but what if it's been around for a long time?
Yeah, but it feels like a needless tool. Do you know what I mean? If you've got people doing it, it feels needless to use AI to do that.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm not. I'm not talking about the average Joe. I'm talking about what if they could make things.
right. That's what I mean. So, so we're going down we're going down the road of
Well, let's face it. We started off with they live, so we may as well go fucking balls deep with this shit.
if you're saying what the if they're faking images, then AI is great. Yeah, AI is great for us. It's great for it's great for people with or people like me with no talent, people with some talent and no resources, and people with no talent and no resources. I tick most of these boxes. Because what it allows you to do is, as I used to do with the podcast, it allows you to prompt fantastic artwork that I could never ever
Mhm.
reproduce because I'm not an artist.
Yeah, we've got Alien Girl in, not Alien Girl. Sorry, we've got Sheila's Aliens in the chat, and
Yeah,
she literally does like loads of AI art, and it's
yeah. It's
amazing.
it's dead cool. Don't get me wrong. It's really cool. And it's also going to be like the procedurally generated thing was for No Man's Sky. Yeah, that was really good for making like a vast universe. And AI will be good for that too, for making video games with vast things that you simply don't have the time to handcraft.
Mhm.
Single images, you have the time to handcraft. No one needs to. AI at that point it's more of an obstacle because you would have to prompt it. Then you would have to make sure everything was right, make sure there was nothing like, when you get like everything looks perfect on a photograph, but then one person's got 6 fingers on the hand for no apparent reason in AI art. So you'd have to get someone to trawl through it to make sure the to make sure nothing like that has happened.
Mm.
It would be easier just to get an artist to create the images.
I know what you're saying. I mean, when you look at
A
some
lot
of
of
the
that Greenland stuff, mate. There's been photographs put out from Mars that
I've seen those
looks
videos
similar to the Greenland one, and if that one's real, and I've never been able to I've never I've never been able to find the original photograph, and to be perfectly honest, I've never looked that fucking deep into it.
Here's
But
the
that one of
thing.
the hill, the one of the hill where there's a hill in
Yeah,
Greenland and the hill on the moon, and they're the same fucking place. But then again, that could be somebody that took that picture of Greenland and made it look like Mars.
on purpose.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. That is, and that's the thing with humans. Sometimes we want to make other people look like cunts.
What?
Sometimes we want to make somebody look a twat,
Mm.
and you may have a big hatred for fucking the higher ups or whatever, and you think, well, they are lying, and you take it too far, and you fake something because you want to show that off. Me personally, I do think there's something a little bit iffy with the first footage of Neil going down that.
Mhm.
And do I believe we went to the moon? I do. Do I believe there's more to it than meets the eye?
Mm.
Absolutely.
I suppose that my main thing is, I don't believe that original footage. Like that was that I would go with that with someone stood behind me with a gun to my head, like say make a call. I would say that footage was faked. The original footage to the moon. I think that documentary, a funny thing happened on the way to the moon.
Oh
Like
god,
that.
that's fucking hell. That is really.
That's crazy. That's it. And you can discount some of it as much as you want. I choose not to discount it because I don't think it's wrong. So if you look at those things, then how can you fucking believe the rest of it?
I like to look at it on both sides of the fence. You've got your extreme, like, fucking Earth is flat, you know, or what is it, the other, that fucking thing up in the sky is a hologram. I mean, that hologram's been there for a fucking long time. That would mean to say that this is all fucking AI generated, and we are just essentially just part of the fucking.
I don't believe any of that stuff. I think that's I'll tell you for why. I think the simulation theory and that we're all part of some sort of simulated AI program, it's just religion for atheists. It's creationism. It's creationism. Because if
what's to say that if you were an actual if you were AI, what's to say you couldn't think?
Oh no,
You couldn't dream.
I don't not understand the concept. I don't not understand the concept. But the thing is, for thousands of years, we've had religion, we've had gods, and we've thought of gods. In the 20th century, we've tried to eradicate that, or certain sects have tried to eradicate that. I was an atheist for most of my life.
Me too.
And what's happened in the meantime is someone sorry, I'm half reading the chat, I'm half talking. Someone's extinguished religion. Einstein said, what happens if people stop believing in God? Would they believe in nothing? And Einstein said, no, they would believe in everything. They would believe in anything, or everything. I think it was they would believe in everything. Anything.
Well,
everything.
that's
one of the two.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it points towards the chaos we're in right now, and there's definitely for all the problems that religion has caused. I think it did channel things for a while. And I think that's all simulation theory is. It's atheists trying to find meaning. And they've had to find.
How can you find meaning as a fucking atheist?
Because that's what simulation theory does, is because it gives them a god. Because if you're a program, there's a creator. The difference is someone hit enter instead of a big bang.
Yeah,
that's what they've done there. Let there be light was like control execute. And they've created God in the most nihilistic, self-destructive way possible, because they've created God while simultaneously making us mean nothing.
Oh, there we go. It's very suspicious that NASA lost all the real footage, leaving us with only a horrible ghostly TV feed.
That horrible ghostly TV feed was projected onto a sheet that all the media people had to crowd around and film it live. So there was a live feed.
This is, and I'm not good with looking at the chat and speaking with somebody in person because I'm dyslexic and it all jumbles up. But there's a few things that I've noticed, and I will say this for anybody who's
love this one. So I needed a bit of British engineering. Good old British engineering.
Oh God, can you imagine did you ever see the fucking British astronaut suit?
If you'd have made that spaceship like just outside Silverstone, where they do all the Formula One cars and stuff, would have got to Mars. They'd have got to the moon and gone, we've still got half a tank left. Should we keep going?
Did you see the British spacesuit when they was talking about going?
What?
Did you see the British spacesuit?
No, show me.
Oh, holy shit balls. It looks like a knight in armor.
Maybe that's what we needed to do.
But here's the thing. I will say this for anybody who's like going like,
See, this
why?
is what. So where is it? Like, this is that rubbish that was recorded and sent to other countries. Where then? Where's the original feed, and not the feed that we've all seen there? This is one small step for man feed. So where's the original feed of it? Now, I know it was. I know the feed that we see. That's why it's so grainy. Is because it was a projection that that TV crews were literally
Yeah.
filming a wall. I know that for facts, for realsies, yo.
My biggest question as well is when you're recording the most iconic thing in history, why did Buzz not have a camera filming him going down the ladder? You know, just for like the after, like when they get back to Earth to see.
Yeah.
'Cause
Why does it taking off look like Quatermass in the fucking pit?
But
When
I
it-
don't
it-
understand why anybody doesn't ask these questions if you're into fucking UFOs, aliens, extraterrestrial, same thing, paranormal, all that fucking jazz. You should be asking these questions because you're all fucking bonkers. You know, that's
Well, this
the
is
thing.
the thing. I think that's the other thing as well. And don't get me wrong, I'm quite happy to be wrong. I'd like to be wrong on lots of the stuff we talk about. But
I believe we went to the moon, though, Lee.
but
I
I
do.
remember. Well, no, yeah, but okay, but I don't believe there's any. I'm not sure what you believe.
I don't believe that footage is real that we saw. I believe Kubrick did that, just like a lot of people do. That they think Kubrick did that, but I do believe we went, and I think that was the backup plan. I think we saw the backup plan, and maybe they couldn't release the proper footage because it wouldn't match up with the backup plan because it wouldn't have looked anything like it. Because that thing's fucking there, and those rockets that they did, the separation system on them, it does work. I know very little about science and all that jazz, but I've played Kerbal Space Program, so for me that'll do. If anybody doesn't know what that game is, it's fucking insanely good.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no reason to believe it. The and I was
faith
I
in
was the kid.
mankind, mate.
No. Well, that's that's not good enough reason. The oh fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry. No, it's gone. It's gone. How terribly unprofessional of me.
This is not a professional show, mate.
No,
Our
it's not.
show is not a professional show.
I can tell that by how like blurry your camera keeps going.
I don't know what's going on with it.
We've got the same camera as well.
I got rid of the redness. Let me bring this up. So the British spacesuit. My God, wait till you see this thing.
Jennifer Sandy with super chat. It's because we were already there.
Ooh, quite possibly, Jen. Thank you so much, Jen. Oh, weather. Right, check these out. This is what the British spacesuit, if we'd have gone, would have looked like. Look at that thing. That
Up the top.
it's wait, what have I brought the right thing up? Yeah, that
I've got
one, the
lots of
one that's in big there.
I mean, that's straight up a Battlestar Galactica helmet for a kickoff.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
It's also Kojima's logo, But just type Hideo Kojima in.
How the fuck do you spell that?
I knew you were going to say that, and as soon as I started saying it, I thought probably shouldn't have thrown
I'll
this.
tell you what,
one
I'll
on
just
him.
put Death Stranded.
Yeah, it might not bring Kojima's logo
No,
up though.
but then I'll get out to spell his name. Hideo Kojima, there we go.
So go for Kojima Productions. Sorry,
That is that. You're right. That is the suit.
I know I'm right. My mouth's moving and noises are coming out.
Oh, look at that thing.
Yeah, straight up.
That's the same fucking suit, isn't it? As the
Yeah.
British space suit.
It's very similar.
My God,
Mm-hmm.
what he's involved.
He's probably involved in everything, isn't he?
How mad's that fucking spacesuit though? It looks. I'm not being funny, guys in the US. We love you and all that jazz, but the British spacesuit is 10 times cooler.
Yeah. It also doesn't look like it would work. I'd
No,
love to. Do you know what I'd love is? I would love. So when was that made? Like when was it made?
Oh God, mate, that was made fucking years ago.
Fucking 40s.
It was. I think
That must
it
have
was
been before the
made-
moon mission.
Yeah, literally, that is a fuck. I reckon it was made in the 16th fucking century by the looks of it. I mean, look at that thing. This is like, it's genuine. It's in the fucking museum, and that was going to be the British. That was their spacesuit.
It's literally just a fucking.
It looks like something from for any
Diving suit, isn't
gamers
it?
out there. It looks like something from what's it called? Dark Souls. It looks like one of the knights.
Does look like, yeah, it could be Dark Souls. It could be some
Oh,
really.
look at that, Hideo Kojima.
Oh, someone's already been on it.
Yeah, somebody's. I thought we were the first.
No, that was pretty fucking obvious, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that is what he 100% got inspiration off that.
Yeah, it looks like it. I'd love to find something that explained the that explains the science behind it of the time.
What do you mean of that suit? They're probably all dead.
That's what I mean. I'd love to know what because it must be written down somewhere. Was like what this.
You would have thought somebody could go into that museum and say, "Listen, we want to make a documentary about that suit. Can we see how it works? How it would have worked?"
I don't think there'd be any sort of major conspiracy around it, and it would probably be completely wrong. You know, I fear if anybody had have gone to space in that suit, they probably wouldn't have worked well for them.
They've been trying to kill goblins and elves.
I'd also like to know what the science fiction was at the time too. You know, we often turn around and say that the UFOs move with science fiction.
Oh, this is what we said about the Billy Myers case as well. Like
I could see one of them walking off one of them Billy Meier spaceships.
Michael Horn, scary guy. I didn't realize we get the aftermath that we got from that.
It wasn't really aftermath, was it? It was just comments.
No, there's been some stuff going on Twitter. There's been a few things that I've been tagged in. I'm like, that's a bit weird. He made a video about showing Rich's show, and
that was disingenuous, wasn't it?
Yeah, very.
I wish that I'd seen that before, because I know he brought that up on the show.
No, he made that after our show.
No, he reposted it. He'd already had that out.
Oh, did he already have that out? Okay.
Yeah. He reposted it to back up his claims on our show. I don't think it did back up his claims, to be perfectly honest. I think it made, it did quite the opposite, which is probably Go on.
No, it's probably what?
The fact that he put something up which didn't back his claims up, believing that it backed his claims up, was probably indication of a delusional man.
Well, it's probably a good time to bring this up. We're gonna have I think the video is gonna hit next week. We've got
Ooh, exciting.
We've got our photographer expert who is a photographer for a living, working on
Video editor as well.
Yep, and he's going through all the Meier's photographs with a fine-tooth comb.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a video out next week, people. So stay tuned for that. And do you know what? I don't want to hate on that case, but I think there's some good come from that case. The Billy Myers case. I think that's got a lot of people thinking. You know, I don't think, because I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't waste. I don't think you definitely wouldn't waste your time on this. You wouldn't have given up Musty Audio to come and join Alien Addict if you didn't think there was something to this subject. If you didn't think that there was a hint,
yeah, well, I think it's
of a belief that you have. And this is why I want to work. This is why I wanted to work with you, because I wouldn't say. I would say
I think there's something to the subject. Do I believe that is nuts and bolt craft with extraterrestrials in it? I don't believe that, because I think the you go through the stages, don't you? And is it interdimensional? Like, is it all like local technology? Like the UFO thing ties into everything essentially. Like, if it's the type of conspiracies I believe, which are like globalist, New World Order sort of things right now, then it's a tool. It could be a tool. It could. There's a multitude.
It's seen that way with them balloons.
There's a multitude of things as well. Like if you, like we were saying about sort of maybe mystery religions and stuff like that. Then there's the idea that we might not be the apex species on the planet, and there is a if not more intelligent, certainly something that has been around longer than us, that manages to escape our detections. Then you can go all the way down the Admiral Byrd route to Hollow Earth stuff, and is this that type of thing. Wasn't it like something put out the other day saying that there was again a destruction found inside the moon? I needed to look it up. Yeah, there was something posted up in that the people believed that there was some sort of structure inside the moon. I believe it was coming from credible sources as well, like a structure. And it kind of came and went, and nobody really paid any attention to it.
I have not heard this.
Yeah, no, I meant to look at it, and I've only just remembered it now because we're talking about this sort of stuff. GT with the super chat. Have you seen some of the videos Secure Team 10 has posted with buildings on the moon in?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of his first video. I saw. I think it was his first video he posted since his dad passed away. Mm-hmm. We've been speaking back and forth after that. I don't.
Is he going to come on soon?
Yes,
I hope so, because I'd really like to speak to him.
Well, I think it would be a moon debate, actually, like by the sounds of the conversation. But at the minute he's not. He has posted a video out, and this is the one you're talking about. But I don't think he's going to post for a while. But yeah, I've seen that video, and it's odd. It is very, very odd. Like some of the stuff that you see. GT, I'm just going to call you Bob because you'll always be Bob to me. Go way, way back on Alien Addict and go to the beginning. You'll see some of the moon stuff that I did and still to this day, I look some of it. I look back and go, I was reaching. I was really reaching there.
Space mushrooms.
Yeah. No, those fucking Mars mushrooms on Mars. Those are mushrooms, mate. But some of the moon stuff that I did, still to this day, when I look at those images, and I've got all those images on that hard drive that I'd saved off the NASA website, they're odd, to say the least. They are. I can't work them out, but the thing is, as well, there's like a lot of them where the distance is you can't work it out. I can't work it out in this little peapod brain anyway. But
who is on with the
holy moly? Sorry, mate. What? No, that is not true.
Oh my God.
If that is true, I'll eat my own penis live. If this is true, if this is going to happen, Lee, go.
We've willed it. I'm going to fact check it.
Oh my God. He's trolling us. I predicted there's an alien addict video that is years ago. Actually, it's not that long. It's about 2 years ago. I said it'll happen. Obviously, that's obsolete now because if it happens, it just happens now. Lee signed up to what's going to happen on Rogan forum. He pays for it where Rogan just like gives him the lowdown. How much do you pay him, Lee? Is it £5 a month or something?
Excellent work with Joe Rogan, having James Fox. Well, it says if someone says it. Oh no, that's 2020. That's 2020. Latest would be helpful. I can't find any.
If we get Lou Alexander on Joe Rogan, oh God, that'll be. I'll be very happy with that. I want to see that podcast happen. Don't think it's gonna. But like I say, there's a penis and it's edible. I'll eat it. Mushrooms are magic.
I can't see anything. I can't see anything.
No idea what you're talking about, GT. About
you got me. You got me all excited there.
I mean,
I don't think it'll happen.
I think it's been. I think if it would have happened, if it was going to happen, it would have already happened. I think it's gone. It's been and gone. I think it was odd that it didn't happen though, because he went on everything else but Rogan. But do you think Rogan would have?
Well, the conversation's definitely been had, hasn't it?
No. What, to get Lou on Rogan?
Yeah. Like the internally inside, like the Rogan machine.
Oh yeah, you mean it would have been behind closed doors?
Yeah, Lou Elizondo's people or whoever does his bookings and stuff like that will have definitely tried to get him on Rogan. Like there's no with the Bob thing that Lou will have asked to go on.
I don't know. No, I think if Lou would have asked to go on, I think Joe would have got him on.
Unless you know something we don't.
I don't
forget,
no,
right? Don't forget.
So
Rogan's the same guy. Rogan's the same guy that turned Donald Trump down twice as sitting president.
That was a smart decision at the time. At the time, I think for what Rogan was being accused of, like you're looking at what's going on in the world at the time.
No, it was before that.
Okay, well, before he got in power.
No, before the coup.
Yeah, I know, but still at the time, I think he would have maybe split his audience. I think there might have been a worry there.
And I'm sure that's what. But this is the thing. I'm not sure he would have split his audience, to be perfectly honest. I think I
No,
think,
what I'm saying, there might have been a worry there, though. There might have been somebody might have said, "Listen, Joe, you might not want to do this one."
you've the like. He at the time he was having controversial people on all the time. I don't. The thing about Donald Trump is like Donald Trump himself is not a controversial person. I know it sounds like a weird thing to say. The controversial thing about Donald Trump is the fact he managed to become president of the United States. Him as a person is not a controversial person. Like he's not as controversial, for instance, as
Tate.
oh,
He's never had Tate on either.
I was gonna say, yeah, but what's Tate got to say? Like Tate,
A lot for himself.
yeah, I mean, I don't dislike Andrew Tate, and
No, I don't. I quite
enjoy
like
a
the bloke.
lot of the stuff he does say. Like his sound bites are quite good. Essentially, Andrew Tate is just another one of the.
I didn't know who he was until you told me about him, and then I watched some stuff, and I said, "Nah, he's not done that. What a load of shit."
What?
I had no idea
Oh,
who Andrew
yeah.
Tate was until you did a podcast about him.
Yeah, I still believe that's nonsense.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
But yeah, it sounds like Andrew Tate, more than anything, he wants to be Joe Rogan. You know, that's like he's definitely on the bro train, which I think Rogan probably drove out of the station.
I wouldn't say Andrew Tate wants to be anybody other than Andrew Tate.
No, he does. He wants to be a massive influencer. He wants to be a massive influencer with a massive platform.
Yeah, I tell you, do like. I mean, I think one of the best guests, nothing to do with UFOs, is Patterson.
Patterson?
The psychological guy. What's his name? Thingy Patterson.
Peterson.
Peterson.
Yeah,
I told
yeah.
you I'm dyslexic. I love him. I think he's fucking great.
Yeah, Peterson's good. He's not the man he was. I don't think. I think the issues
He cries
been,
a lot.
Yeah, he's a man that's just
very emotional.
Lovely
guy.
He took a big weight on his shoulders, and he took one for the team. I think he took one for the team where when there was nobody else really doing it, and first of all, he's Canadian. Like, I have nothing against Canadians. They're not known for
maple syrup.
Not known for their toughness, though. They're known for their friendly, not known for their grit. And I think
that's only what you're shown through fucking media.
Name me an alpha Canadian.
Probably the Canadian that's watching this show right now, putting a thumbs up.
Just saying. Name me an alpha Canadian.
I will probably the alpha Canadian, the alpha Canadian,
alpha Canadian.
Probably the Canadian that's just become a channel member. Like it's the alpha or the Patreon. Sorry, that's really distasteful. I don't care. Got no taste.
Yeah.
I know what you say. I like what's portrayed. Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure Canadians probably look at
Alpha Canadian Jacques Villeneuve, actually.
Who?
Jacques Villeneuve, Formula One champion, 1997. And the reason he's an Alpha Canadian is in 1997, a singular year, he won the Formula One World Championships, shagged Natalie Imbruglia.
Oh my God, what a legend.
I'm not finished. Danny Minogue.
My God.
And do you remember the violinist in the 90s?
Oh, Vanessa May.
Vanessa May, yeah.
Shit the bed. Danny, say that again.
Amongst that,
Who?
Danny Minogue, Natalie
Danny Minogue.
Imbruglia, Vanessa May, and finished the year off by winning the Formula One World Championship.
That guy's testicles are massive. Well, actually, they're probably small after that.
My other favorite masculine fact about Formula One is that Jenson Button in the year, we'll say 2001, something like that. It was like when he first sort of came in, maybe it was late in 2001. Can't remember. Like one of his first years in Formula One, he went through that many supermodels. He was named Nuts Shagger of the Year. And I love the fact that there was an award for Shagger of the Year.
I'm not going to get in a Formula One discussion with you because I won't win. But my dad's massively into. I'll show my dad your podcast. He's hugely into Formula One. Hugely into Formula One. That at some point the driver's going to be, there's just going to be people shagging cars because there's going to be no driver.
No,
at some point that driver is going to be controlling a fucking drone the way things are going.
Then it's not fun.
No, but it looks to me like that's the way it's going because those things now, if you look at them back in the day, they're still dangerous. They're still fucking dangerous.
They tried it. Oddly enough, I'll say a friend of mine. He was he is. If anyone's into watching, this kind of goes where we are, so we're kind of on topic. If anyone's into watching video gamers like Twitch streams, he is Lightning McMufflin on Twitter. Sorry, on what's that thing called? Twitch. And he is he's a professional sim racer. He did the motion capture for Fast and the Furious. You know, when it zooms in on the feet,
right?
They're his feet. And I can't remember why I'm bringing them up. Oh yeah, he was involved in track. He was involved in Robo Race, which was an AI program, where they were making driverless Formula One cars essentially, and the whole thing was a fucking catastrophe. This was only last year before. That we were nowhere near, and I'm still like don't get me wrong. It would be easy to make cars that will follow each other around a circuit. You could probably do that. You know, Teslas can drive themselves around, but to do that at pace, and then it's not because don't forget, motor racing is, it's not like your car driving you in where you live to the shops and back, because first of all, you're not driving that car to its absolute limit. You're not. So a racing car is on the limit of grip all the time, and that means it's not just on the limit of grip of the same amount of grip, because every lap your tires are wearing out. Every lap the temperature of the track is changing, so that changes grip as well. So all these calculations are fucking unfathomable.
Okay, but what if you? So
I'm not saying we won't be able to do it in the future.
You've dabbled with chat.
It is 100% easier to make ChatGPT write a book than it is to make it do a lap of a course.
Okay, for that program, but what if they design something for a vehicle?
They tried to, and it fucked. Like they all crashed. They all crashed into each other.
How odd? You would have
no. It's just because the calculations are so crazy. We just simply don't have the computing power to do it. But
that's blown me away, because I thought that the computer would have outsmarted the man.
No,
even at this point.
You underestimate how powerful a person's mind is and body.
That takes you back to the fucking UFOs.
Yeah. It's stupid things, like even the like when you think, obviously we can get we can get machines to pick things up. That's not what I'm saying. But it's stupid things like when you pick a pint glass up, you've probably got the power in your hand to crush a pint glass if you really tried. You know, you just like an average person of an average. I'd make a right mess of my hand, but I could do it.
I once did destroy a pint glass.
Yeah.
It already had a crack in it though.
So just that calculation of enough force to pick it up, but not throw it over your shoulder. Like enough to bring it to your face, but not smack you in the face. Enough not to crush the glass. Same if you pick up like a polystyrene cup. You know, in this with the same body, we can punch through a door, or we can pick up a feather without breaking it, or hold a baby. Now imagine that in a racing car sense, where you've got all those G forces and stuff like that. That's why Formula One drivers and racing drivers are quick. It's because they can feel what the car's doing underneath them. They feel it in their ass. They feel it in their hands. They feel like when the car's losing grip at the rear, they can adjust it. You know that's like I say, those calculations are crazy, and we do them every day.
That's essentially that's like those pilots that are flying and fucking protecting everybody's fucking country. They do their own maneuvers, but the drones that are out there. Do you believe the drones? By the way, I don't know if I've ever asked you that question.
What?
As my partner in crime? Do you believe that the stuff you see? You know, so we've had Lou on, Lou Reviews, Lou Menez.
Yeah.
Do you believe the stuff is like Chinese drones or whatever?
Some of them, some things have to be drones. Do you know what? I'm not sure.
Do you think those ones that Fravor saw and all that is, or do you think Fravor's a fucking actor?
I think it's part of the machine. Yeah.
You think it's part of the machine?
I don't think TikTok's a real thing. I think that for whatever this movie is, for whatever's being played out here. Look, I'm a Project Bluebeam guy. If I'm anything, I'm fucking Bluebeam.
I know this.
Yeah. I think he's a sexy story, isn't he? You know, there was something interesting about Fravor, is that he went. If you watch his, and don't get me wrong, this is I could be completely wrong here, but one thing is definitely true, is when you watch his interviews, he goes from being, this could just be camera shy as well. He ends up really fucking enjoying talking about this, like to where is uncontrollably happy about it. When you see him grinning, and I can't help feel that's not just being comfortable on camera. I think part of it's being comfortable on camera. I think the other part of it is is it called Blaggers Delight? Where people are uncontrollably happy because they're fooling somebody and they know they're getting away with it, and the other person is lapping it up. I think there was I
have a guess on, and you will have done that. You'll have had guests on before that they do that. And you can tell.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, that's the vibe I get from Fravor. The vibe I get from Fravor is he is unbelievably happy that somebody is listening to him and that they are buying it. And that's the weird thing. So don't get that from Lazar. That's the strange thing about Lazar.
No, I don't.
Maybe he's just better at it.
Yeah. Really good at lying, but he's probably not got the scientific. Well, the way Jeremy and Lou. I mean, Lou doesn't know.
Jeepers Delight. But... Thank you, Mr. Eon. Jeepers Delight. It's called. Good man.
I genuinely, I don't think for 1 second that anybody that interviews Lazar thinks he's lying. Just like when you're looking at Fravor, I don't think people think he's lying, but at the same time, there's something very, very. I know it's like there's a boast there. There's a big.
Yeah.
But is that just
And why-
personality?
and why him?
But is that just personality? Is that just personality? Because you've also got Dietrich's that backs it up. The
lady.
the lady, yeah.
Yeah, but where is she? Like, why isn't she on as many things as he?
She has been on interviews.
No, I know she's been on interviews, but why not? Why not as many as Fravor?
Fravor.
Yeah. Why is he in favor?
I don't know why Fravor is in favor.
Maybe they
And
like
why
to say.
don't-
Maybe they like to
Why
savor the
does the
favor.
radar guy always cry? Isn't the radar guy?
Oh yeah, the young guy.
No, he's not young. He's older
is
than
he?
me and you.
So
Yeah.
then-
No, you're talking about what's your name? What's the radar guy, people? I can't think of his fucking name. We used to speak about him with Goof on when
Yeah, give him some radar love.
before he hated us. He doesn't hate us. He still fucking loves us. He watches
Who?
the
Sorry,
fucking show.
who?
Goof on. He watches the show every week.
Of course he does. He wants to announce
Goof-
for a
Goof
YouTube
on.
show together.
I've not barred you in the
I'm-
chat, by the
I'm
way.
joking. I'm really joking. But
He's-
unblock me on Twitter, you fuck.
He's blocked me on Twitter. He's blocked me on his chats as well. Like seriously,
He hasn't blocked me on his chat because I commented on it the other day saying, why have you blocked me on Twitter? Because I don't want to fall out with anybody.
No, it's not that. I'm just like, I think anybody that blocks somebody is a pussy. So, Rach, I think you're a massive fucking vagina. Don't block me. I would let you chat in my chat. You know. Who's the guy? Who are we talking about? Who's Kevin Day, motherfucker? Kevin Day. There you go. Kevin Day. Yeah. Kevin Day. Why is he a fucking nervous wreck from seeing a fucking couple of UFOs on a fucking radar? I mean,
is it because that's his job? Is he the fear merchant of it?
I don't think so. No, because he generally looks like he's. And Kevin, I'm sorry. I'd love to interview you and have a beer with you.
I do. Yeah, I don't think you're saying
like you've had one too many. He looks like a fucking nervous wreck. The guy doesn't look well, and he's talking about this subject, and that was the guy who had a fucking very important fucking job. It just doesn't kind of add up that you'd get. I mean, what could have put? I've watched his interviews. There's nothing that he says in that interview that would say, because of this, I am now this guy who. I'm sorry if I'm speaking out of term here, but looks like his life's gone through fucking shit because of this. Because he had a fucking fantastic fucking job. I guarantee that.
Oh, sorry, I know you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah, I guarantee him he made a shitload of money doing that. A fucking radar guy. I know one of my mates fucking fixed planes. I know how much money he's on. He's on quite. Well, not to start off with, but to get the radar job. Yeah, because my mate who's in the RAF. He fixes planes. He applied for a job in the tower control, looking at air traffic control. That is. He didn't pass the bar for that. And he was gutted because it was fucking great money. But not only that, you know, it's a big responsibility, but he's fucking pretty switched on.
With great money comes great responsibility.
Clever guy, and he's got, I would say his emotion is 0.1. He's not an emotional guy at all. he fixes planes for a living now, but he wanted to do the radar job in normal in air traffic control for the RAF. Didn't get that job because of the test they did. It was something to do with the psychological tests. Why the fuck did Kevin Day do that job, see a few UFOs on the radar, and then have the nervous breakdown that he seemed to have? That's I would love to have that conversation with him.
So was
I know
he
you would.
on the ship? The
Nimitz, yeah.
yeah. I mean, unless there's more to that than we know. But again, it's
But what could you see on radar that makes you fucking go and
yeah, but he was on the ship.
hit the
No,
fucking
yeah,
ball?
but he was on the ship though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. But I
Yeah.
mean, I unless
So yeah, but obviously he would have spoke to other people on the ship that would have been happening. Maybe one of them got like probed on deck in front of everybody else. Force field around them, got probed. Watch me do this. Look me in the eyes while I probe your crewmate.
with the force field,
Yeah.
so only the alien could potentially.
No, force field so no one could get to him to stop him.
Right.
Just like watch me. That's because what we don't know about Greys is they are like they're massive
Fucking randy
fetishists.
little sods with no
Yeah,
penis.
yeah. They're really into BDSM.
By the way, at the alien addict Grey, it's non-binary, so don't worry about it. It's not gonna fuck you. It's just it doesn't care.
Good
And on
joke.
that,
Yeah, I don't know, but like I said, I mean, if you are, I mean, maybe he was at that position anyway. Maybe he was having issues. Maybe there was issues. You don't know what his personal life was like. It could have been like the straw that broke a camel's back. It was, can you imagine, right? Let's say you're not happy. You think your wife's having an affair. I'm not saying his wife is having an affair, by the way. I'm just creating a fictitious situation. His wife's having an affair. He kind of knows about it. He's away a lot, so he understands because she gets lonely. Everyone gets lonely, but he doesn't want another man calling. He doesn't want another man that her kids can call dad. So that's all on his head as well. He wakes up for another day's work on the ship, sat in front of his radar, thinking, "My life's fucking awful. My wife's getting pounded at home. My kids are gonna come home and high five him because although I hate him because he's pounding my wife, he's dead cool. He's got a really cool job. He's got a nice car."
massive dick.
Massive dick. And the next thing is you have swarms of triangular fucking pyramids around your ship, and you just go, do you know what? That's enough. I fucking check out. I've checked out of this. This is the straw. The straw is an alien invasion. I can handle my wife getting pummeled by Enrico, but I can't handle this.
Maybe, mate. Yeah.
See, I just painted you a picture with my words.
If we get him on, can you ask him? Can you ask him in exactly that manner?
Exactly that way, yeah. Is it was this? Let me weave you a tale.
Do you know what I mean, though? I mean, how does one man go from being a radar guy? It must be more to it. There must be more that's gone on off in that guy's life to be that nervous wreck.
Some people, their moment is like their pet dies, and they go fucking postal.
I get that with some people. If you've only got a pet and you've got nothing else in your life, then I get that.
Yeah, but right, if everything is legit with that fucking story, it's not a pet dying, it's a fucking alien invasion.
Unless he knows something that we don't. And he's not saying.
Or he was already having a bad day and then the aliens turned up.
And he got fired.
And fingered.
fucking fired and fingered in the same day by an alien. Jesus Christ, Lee. On that note, we've gone for what, 2 hours 20 minutes talking to strangers.
We can keep it for another 6 or 7 minutes to round it off to a nice
All
half.
right, fucking yeah, let's round this motherfucker up.
But yeah, I just I really want to know if these stories are real, first of all, or is it next level Dodie stuff?
Well, Dodie, do you believe Dodie now that he's talking like
No, he
kind of
works
like
for Gaia.
Yeah. And Greer. Guy and
Yeah.
Greer.
Gangaria sounds so painful.
Ganga fucking Rear. Jesus.
But yeah, that's where I think it is. I think it's like next level Richard Dodie shit that's gone on. And because that right, that's the other thing to think about. Like Dodie was the guy that sent the guy fucking crazy, wasn't he?
Yep. Fuck that. He thought so he thought he was listening on was it an army base, but he was listening to fucking UFOs. He was listening to fucking what was going on with the aliens and all that jazz. Yeah.
So now, I mean, when was that? Was that in the 80s?
I'll be honest with you, if I give you a time frame, I'll be lying and I'll look like a twat.
Right, I don't know. But you've got to think that these propaganda techniques, and motherfucker, do we know about propaganda over the last few years? Have got more sophisticated. They are now multifaceted because you have so many more like tentacles with the internet. You know, there's so many more avenues you can stream information from.
You say tentacles or testicles?
Both. You can stream information from like conflicting information into different to different outlets. You can play outlets off against each other, like the 5D chess that must go on when it comes to disinformation and propaganda now is fucking unreal.
80s, Lee.
Yeah, so think about how sophisticated that is now. Like 40 years on, or whatever it is.
Do you actually know how Greer got See, the thing is with Greer, and I know we've gone on many tangents with this podcast tonight. What do you call them, Lee? Live stream.
I still call them podcasts.
Yeah, it's a cool name.
Yeah.
How do you think? Because there's got to be some sort of. There's got to be something to Greer to get a guy like Dodie to kind of come and speak out.
Yeah, it's his job.
As much as everybody wants to hate on the guy, and don't get me wrong.
No, because he's still doing his job.
Yeah, but I just think there is as much as like we know Steve. Well, Steve don't hate anybody. I know he don't get on with Goof on, but I don't think he hates Stephen Greer. But what he will say is Stephen's a grifter. Stevens is that snake oil salesman.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
There must have been something though with Greer, some good when he's getting people like Dodie to come and like tell the story. He has to have something there. There has to be some sort of level to and I was a massive, I'll be honest with you, I was a massive.
I'm not going to lie, Ollie, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Right, I was a massive Greer fan. I had a lot of trust in Greer. back in the early UFO days when I started
everybody
to
did. We
get
all
into
did.
this. Me probably for too long. So I probably even trusted Greer 3 or 4 years back still. And then I saw some stuff that was in the documentary. I put a video. I got the documentary early, like I can't 2 documentaries ago. I
The
got
one
one
where
of
he
the
cried at the end.
No, I think it was one before that. It might no, it was that one. It was the
Yeah.
one in the room, the big white room, not
The
the one.
the
not
2 hour
the
advert
one.
for the 2 hour advert for his app.
So I got that early, and I
His
put a
last
UFO. I put
his
a
last
UFO
well
clip.
produced documentary.
I put a UFO clip out early on Alien Addict, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? This is amazing!" And then Osvaldo Franco actually debunked it. Who
How? What did he say?
he said it's skydivers. And I went and he showed me the full video, and it was skydivers. They'd used this same fucking clip and they cut it. And I'm
Mate,
like,
that's the same. It's the same.
"Holy
It's the same documentary. He
fucking-"
used a fucking dancing alien that was like a cactus or something like that.
It's just, how do you go from being UFO hero to fucking? I'm not even gonna make it rhyme. A buffoon.
Hey,
How?
because he's just making money. He's just making money now. I
I find it a fucking crying shame. I really do, because I think
the red flag with Greer with me will always be, and it was at the time. I remember the conversation I had with somebody when I first heard about Stephen Greer and the Disclosure Project, and they just kept returning to it. It's funny how some people, it's obviously the way that they're addressed all the time. He was always addressed as Dr. Stephen Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer, Dr. Stephen Greer.
yeah.
And it was Dr. Stephen Greer was talking about aliens, Dr. Stephen Greer was talking about spaceships, Dr. Stephen Greer was talking about space. And then you find out he's a fucking ER doctor. You go, oh, hang on a second. You like that, so that was the first thing with me, because I thought, right, well, the doctor part of your name, and he's a doctor, don't get me wrong, but it was used disingenuously. Because if you have somebody standing in front of you talking about space and UFOs and aliens, and they say they're a doctor, you are going to think they're a physicist or a fucking astrobiologist, or at least something that doesn't involve treating broken bones.
Don't you find it weird that like him and Alessandro like fucking like pulling out the dicks to who's got the biggest cock? Like it, like
I don't. Yeah, but they're perfect for each other. Like, I think they play off each other because they know it. Each one backs.
Do you know
It's-
about the? Do you know
they're
about the
all-
lawyer situation? Do you know about the lawyer situation? You know Danny Sheehan.
No, it sounds like he disappears though if you say his name.
Yeah, he worked with Greer for a long time, and he's a lawyer, and he does a lot with the UFO community. He's fucking Lou Alessandro's lawyer now, and he worked for such a long time. Now, as somebody who doesn't know anything about this, you're fucking fantastic to ask this question. Does that not sound weird to you that Greer's like somebody who he worked with for years, who has been in videos with Stephen Greer, all of a sudden Lou Alessandro calls Stephen Greer a terrorist? Shouldn't have said that word on YouTube, but it's
We're
nothing
here
to...
now.
Then Danny Sheehan is Lou Alessandro's lawyer. You don't know anything. So as an outsider, how does that look to you?
Sorry, walk me through those steps again.
So Danny Sheehan So we're going from Disclosure Project. So Danny Sheehan was involved in the Disclosure Project with Stephen Greer right from the beginning. We're talking pre 9/11,
Right.
and they have been friends. I think they're still friends, I believe. But Danny Sheehan now is Lou Alessandro's lawyer. Would you not consider that I mean, by UK standards, I don't know about anywhere else, but would you not consider that a conflict of interest?
I'd want to know Danny's background because
He's a lawyer.
no, but like I want to know more about that motherfucker because I'm gonna sound crazy again, aren't I? I'd wonder whether he was some sort of handler.
This is why I'm asking you because you
No,
have no
that's what I'm
idea
saying.
who he
That's
is.
I'd wonder if he was some sort of handler that handles assets, government assets, to keep them in check. In the same way as you have that personal trainer in Hollywood, don't you? That essentially told Kanye West, "We're gonna drug you and stick you back in hospital if you don't fucking wind your neck in, dickhead." And he's been involved with a lot of celebrities that appear to be, I'll say it, part of MK Ultra's fucking mind control programs.
You said you'd do a show on that.
I'd love to. I'd love somebody else to come on as well that's properly
Oh.
researched it. You know,
We'd have to do we'd have to do a month of it, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd wonder. I'd wonder whether he was something like that. Whether there was a deeper job for him than just being a lawyer at that point, because that's weird. That's a weird connection to happen.
Well, that's factual information. That
no, I believe
Greer's really good friend Danny Sheehan is now Lou Alessandro's lawyer. I mean I just find that fascinating that they all go around in this kind of circle, and it's.
I think we're being played by it all. I really do. I think we are. I've said it all along. There is a vested interest. There is a vested interest in the UFO community and the population, like wider population in general. There is a vested interest in to make them believe that there is a possibility that there is extraterrestrials. I don't know why. I don't know why that's a thing, but that I think it's an undeniable fact that there are. I would say I don't want to say governmental because I think these decisions are made by the people that buy and sell politicians. I think it's decisions made above government. But I think it's undeniable. It's an undeniable fact that it's all tongue in cheek, isn't it? It's like, oh well, that thing. Well, it could be. You know,
it could be aliens.
Yeah. And even down to see, I think there's been so much priming for this, even down to like your Ancient Aliens, which has been a like an unbelievable.
Did you enjoy that show to start off with?
I enjoy it now if it comes on. Don't fucking believe a word that's on it, but I'll watch it. You know, I like the Avengers. I don't believe it. But like it was the perfect primer for what's come now. You know, and it's kind of unrelated.
Do you think it's molded some of this community?
I think it's molded pop culture. Like your man with the crazy hair is a meme. I'm not saying
Absolutely,
it's aliens, but it's aliens.
It is.
But that's literally what that's what like the state line is now. The guy got up there for a White House press conference and basically said, "I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens."
Yeah.
So how wild's that? How wild's that guy, that meme that was generated, ends up being the de facto fucking party line.
What do you think? Just quickly before we disappear and we talk about the Sunday show that you're not going to be on.
I'm gutted about that. I fucking love doing the Sunday shows as well, but
He's all right.
got
It's
to
going to
got
be.
to got
It's
to
gonna,
got a date with a 70-year-old man.
we've got a beast in line. Literally a beast. Still doing a Sunday show, people. You'll have to wait and see.
Oh my god! If you've got like 2 viewers, my head is going to go through the roof.
2 viewers
Yeah,
for the Sunday show.
yeah.
Got very
If
special.
if no one turns up because I'm not there,
They
I'm going to
probably
walk.
won't now
I'm
because
going to
you're
be.
saying
I'm going to
this.
walk around like I've got the. But no, either that or everyone.
Can we
Everyone.
make the Sunday show the biggest show going just to
Everyone.
piss Lee off?
I was just gonna say everyone will come and watch it now just to make me feel bad. But like it's like, oh yeah, I love Alien, like just like it used to be before the fat ginger guy. Sorry, you were gonna say before we wrap it up.
I've lost my train of thought now.
You were gonna ask me a question. I think you were gonna ask me what I thought was gonna happen.
On what?
Like
I
the
really have lost my train
the end
of
of
thought.
the movie, because I was talking about the
Oh yeah.
Is that what you were gonna ask me?
Put your finger on that trigger and go.
I think it's Bluebeam. I think we have a turmoil that we're going to go through. That's kind of unrelated to UFOs, but I'm not going to say it here. I think there are vested interests that with what the population that is left, they're going to want to control and to finagle into their how they think society should be run, and I think they're going to do it with a new religion, and they're going to do it by probably something along the lines of ancient aliens, and that's how you will bring in this one world religion, one world government, one world order.
That's the thing with Bluebeam. What people don't seem to realize, it doesn't have to be. The word Bluebeam doesn't. I know you think when you think Bluebeam, it's like fucking Lee's fucking glistening lights in the background that will shine upon us and fucking predict and project fucking God or whatever on mankind. But when I think of Bluebeam, and I think this is probably the same for you, Lee, Bluebeam is an idea that you can predict. You can project an idea on mankind.
Yeah, it could be. I still I had the idea that we've also been primed for the nuclear deterrent. You know that UFOs.
That fucking alarm that went off the other day.
But no, but we've been primed that UFOs have been zapping around, like stopping launch codes and stuff like that, and like stopping nuclear missiles working like for decades.
As long as they stop it, I don't care.
Not if what comes worse is worse than a blast.
No, it's not.
How do you know?
How do I know there's nothing worse than a blast? There's probably hell.
Well, what about enslavement?
Well, yeah. I suppose the blast would be fast.
You know, in the war, but if you're talking about like full global control, that's pretty grim.
Which kind of seems like, if you really, without speaking too much in code, but if you connect the dots, people, and you really think something a little bit iffy, if you haven't worked it out already.
I think we've gone through we've gone through such an interesting time in the last 3 years, 4 years. And over, sorry, not 4, it's been 3 years, but over 4 years. If you know what I mean, it's crossed 4 calendar years. I don't think it's an accident. I don't think it's an accident when this stuff started to explode was when we were all locked in our houses. And you know, it's, and again, maybe it's chaos, maybe it is, but there is something. Well, it's some.
They
There
always
is
say
an,
there's organization to chaos.
it's an ominous feeling. There is an ominous feeling around this stuff. Is it, you know, are we like, are we in the biblical end times? Is this the like the great deception? You know, have people already took the mark?
I hope not. You know, I want to be an old granddad talking about UFOs.
I think that's, do you know what? I think that is something genuinely that people need to get used to, is the fact that we've, regardless of what your level is of rabbit hole digging when it comes to the coof into the whatever this UFO stuff is now. And even if you are full on, like, I love the BBC, like, I am fucking roosted, boosted, and ready to go. You must see that in 2018 we thought we were pretty much going to be able to ride our lives out the same way our parents have ridden their lives out, and we would get to watch our children ride their lives out before we finish ours and they continue into the future. The idea that our next 30 years can be the same as the last is, that's a conspiracy theory. That's a fucking wild conspiracy theory. That's because it's just, that is not the way the future's moving. We are going into uncharted, fucked up deep waters. And it could be fucking ace, don't get me wrong. Like, all this could be enough to like shake people up to corruption of power, and like listening to the Rogan's podcast with Asim, maybe it shakes up how we look at the pharmaceutical industry, and maybe we can move back towards maybe more positive health based things. And who might know about fucking positive health? I'm fucking overweight drummer, like, in the UK. It's not like I'm out there like living the fucking Rogan lifestyle. But maybe this is like a turning point. It doesn't. We don't necessarily have to go the wrong way with it. And I will always say this when it comes to, even if everything we think about the WEF is right and the Agenda 2030 stuff and things like that, you have to remember, if they were as powerful as they want you to believe they are, we wouldn't be having these conversations. The deal would already be done. It would be finished. The thing is, we have a massive amount of power, because if we didn't have a massive amount of power, these entities, by entities I do just mean like people, not like a group, they wouldn't be so scared. They wouldn't be so scared. They wouldn't be trying to pass hate crime laws that like limit freedoms of speech. They wouldn't be trying to clamp down on protests now by using bad actors and fucking useful idiots in these climate chaos fucking people, like Just Stop Oil and Extinction Rebellion and stuff like that. Just useful idiots that have been terrorized into thinking they're saving the planet. They wouldn't need these mechanisms if there wasn't a not even just good chance. I would say probable chance that we can just stop this. Because, like I say, it would all be over. It would be done.
I wish it would be done.
No, you don't want. No, you don't want it to be done
No, I mean,
for the good.
yeah, yeah,
That'd be
But-
nice.
yeah. But on that note, people,
Thank you for
we
listening to my TED talk.
thank you for listening to Lee's TED Talk. And we've got a show Sunday. Lee won't be the host.
I'm sorry. It's going to be an awesome show, though. You should
I'm just going to
definitely
make
come even
Dave
without
be
my
that. I
sexy
think
face.
Dave's going to be the host. I think Dave's actually going to be the host. In fact, I might even suggest that to Dave. He can fucking say, "Welcome to the fucking show, motherfuckers." Tune in because we will be talking about strangers. Now, you can take that whichever way you want. It's going to be definitely paranormal. So tune in. It's going to be 9 p.m. GMT time, 4 p.m. Eastern. I want to thank everybody who's in the chat tonight. You've all been excellent. And yeah, just keep spreading the word. Alien Addict. It is a thing. You are an addict. And we're a pair. And we're going to America in just over a month.
And my passport should be here in about a month.
Guys, thank you. Good night. God bless. Mind the bugs don't bite. We are Alien Addict, and we love you. You know what? You've been amazing. Check out the merch. It is in the description. Wait.
Ollie.
What do you want to say? What you found?
My guy with the late arrival.
Evening, mate. Welcome to the show.
I'm sorry. Wait. We've done 3 hours. I'm sorry you were late. We tried to wait for you. We
Fucking
really
no.
did.
No, let's do another 3.
Thanks for commenting, though. Every comment adds to the algorithm.
That's it. Oh, speaking of comments, people, if you've liked the show and you want to check back tomorrow, watch it again. Leave a comment. It helps the algorithm out. That's the merch. It's beautiful. It's sexy, but not as sexy as Lee's one, which is kind of we're gonna phase that out at some point because Lee's he's gone and taken that alien pill.
We could always just
Leave it in.
replace the logo in the middle.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thumbnail for tonight's show.
That brain looks so juicy, doesn't it?
It does. It's a real brain.
So fresh.
I got a real brain for that.
Yeah.
God. But when I was making that thumbnail tonight, my little boy, not tonight, sorry, the other day, my little boy was like looking there, and I was just seeing him looking at the screen going, and I went, "What's up?" And he's like, "Is that a brain?" Yeah. He's like, "Okay, cool." 7 years old. Right, folks. We'll see you Sunday. Thank you.
Ciao.
Showzers.